Hey guys, happy Soul Sister Saturday. Dayna here to talk to you guys about some pretty heavy stuff today. I'm in a graveyard. I thought it was the perfect setting for today's video. I don't know if graveyards creep you out or not, but they are part of life. The truth is, death is a pretty prominent topic for many of you this week. Several of you wrote to me about dealing with deaths in your family or dealing with the fear of death. The fear of death is pretty real for most people. This week we had a really sad experience. One of Tiffany's closest friends' father took his own life, and it was a really intense thing for our whole family to deal with. And suicide is a pretty scary, heavy topic for most of us, but it's something that's really part of life. A lot of us have thought about it before. Even if it's for like a real fleeting moment, suicide is something that many of us think about when things get so bad you don't know any other way to solve a problem, or you feel like there's no way out, and suicide pops into our minds as an answer. For most of us, it's a very fleeting thought. We consider it and go, no, that's not something I would do. But for many people who have depression, who are dealing with some really heavy stuff, have seriously considered it. This particular man sadly took his own life, and he left behind 4 kids. And we love these kids dearly, and it's very sad. So dealing with it firsthand was really interesting, how so many of you also kind of followed that energy and like wrote to me about it, even not even knowing that it was part of my experience this week. So I just want to talk to you guys for a little while about birth and death. Before I had kids, I was really, really afraid to give birth. All I ever saw about birth was really kind of scary. You know, all the movies portray it as this horrible thing with women screaming, yelling at the partner, and the baby coming out and it being a very excruciatingly painful and horrid experience, many times ending in surgery. Well, when I got pregnant with Devin, who's almost 16, by the way, I can't believe it's been like 17 years since I found out I was pregnant, like a little under 17 years, because I swear, guys, when you're my age, it's really weird because you don't feel like a different person really as you did when you were a teen. It's just you are always the same soul. You just kind of grow when you get older and you gain more knowledge. But the truth is, birth was really scary to me. So I began researching it like crazy. I was a real wuss when it came to pain. My first tattoo, I cried. I wasn't like one of those tough guy people that got tattooed. I like cried through it, and I never considered myself somebody who could ever have birth without drugs. Well, when I became pregnant with Devin, I started researching birth, and time again it kept coming back to the fact that babies are healthier when they're born naturally. So I learned about it and I did it. I hired a midwife instead of a doctor, and I had a natural birth in a hospital, and it was life-changing. Birth did hurt, but nothing like I thought it would be. It wasn't pain in any way that I experienced before. I don't even know if I'd consider it pain. It was just really intense sensations. I'd say birth was the closest I came to death. And I don't mean that it was risky or dangerous. I just mean the mental state that I was in. You experience something that you never have before in that profound moment of bringing forth life. And I really believe that the same is true of death. I think people are petrified of death. But I believe personally, and I know you guys, everybody watching has different religious beliefs. You all have different family beliefs that are passed down generation to generation. But my own belief system, I was raised really Christian. Went to Bible school, went to Bible camp. I was actually like one of the best like Bible verse memorizers in my church, and I was like a perfect Christian. And then years went on. In my adulthood, I began to really question and explore different religions. I found it fascinating learning about all these other religions out there. And so I wouldn't consider myself Christian now, but I'm a spiritual person. I believe in being a good person, and my values and morals do reflect that of being a good person. Fearing death was something that I feared, just like anybody else. I worry now that I have kids about death. It's something that once you have children, oh my goodness, is it like overwhelming to think about losing one of them. You have nightmares about your kids drowning or something horrible happening to them. And it's really hard to raise yourself out of a fearful state, both when you're a kid and a teen like you guys, and then again when you're a mother and you have kids and teens. It's like a new level of fear. But after giving birth, it opened me up to learning about spirituality and why our culture is so afraid of birth. And I think one of the reasons our culture is so afraid of birth is because we're so afraid of death. And that is not true for every culture in the world. Death does not have to be looked at as a scary thing. I think most people are afraid of pain and what death feels like. And I know it might be uncomfortable to even hear me talking about, but I believe that we live many, many lives, and that our time on earth is just one of our experiences out of hundreds. And I believe that we come back maybe as a human, maybe as an animal or a tree, who knows? We reincarnate into whatever we reincarnate into. And I just don't believe that our time on earth here is done. I listen to a lot of awesome spiritual gurus and people that really inspire me, and the belief that they share about death is so empowering to me. In our human form, we do have a lot of pain and resistance, energetic resistance to growth and to people being mean to us. And we really attract a lot of negative experiences when we have anxiety. And anxiety and fear really go hand in hand. And what happens when you die, according to certain belief systems, is that all of the resistance, the pain, and the fear disappear. And it's a really euphoric, beautiful, perfect experience, because your body dies, but your soul and who you are is always still there. And I really believe that in my heart. So I'm not afraid of death, because I went through birth. And when you guys get pregnant someday, you're going to know fear in ways that you never felt before, but I'll tell you, it's pushing through the fear and seeing what a magnificently strong human being you are, that birth is very much like death. Birth is beautiful and nothing like you've been told. People say it's awful and scary. It is not. Especially those of you on the leading edge of this new thought awareness like you guys are. You guys are all into soul sisterhood and kindness and love. Birth is amazing, amazingly powerful. It brought me to the depths of ecstasy, the heights of fear, and it changed me as a person. And we're all meant to go through that kind of change in life. I think a lot of you are very similar to me and Amy. I think that Amy and I have both been through a lot, individually and together. And I think that the kids and teens that watch us do so because you can see yourself in us. You see similar energy. You see somebody who can relate to you. I'm going to tell you, just because you're fearful of death now doesn't mean you always will be. And you're supposed to fear these kind of things. It's really normal to be a child and start realizing that you're going to lose your parents someday. A few of you wrote to me this week, actually, which is really fascinating, because it seems like when I get an email, I get 3 more just like it. And you guys have never met, but you write to me about the same kind of things. I got a couple emails from several of you about being afraid of losing your parents. That fear is natural and that fear is normal. I went through it myself. And the truth is, it is part of life. But when your brain starts to get in a place of being really overly fearful and anxious, I think it's so important to keep in mind what is likely to happen. What's likely to happen is that your parents are going to live a beautiful long life with you by their side. Not everyone's going to go through ultimate tragedy like Tiffany's friend this week. We're all sending them so much love. But the truth is, if you are somebody who is going to go through this, through losing a parent, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, I promise. And this is your path and your destiny. I think a lot of times things happen to us to be able to help other people. We don't know why. And when we're in the depths of pain and trauma, it can feel so overwhelming that suicide feels like the way out. It's everybody's individual path, but the truth is, things will always get better. No matter how bad they seem, they always will get better. And you just have to hold on to that faith and know that we all go through these times. A couple years ago, I went through total trauma, bullying, pain, meanness. I considered it. I considered ending my life. It was part of my thought process because I just couldn't take it. I didn't think I could bear it or take it anymore. But the truth is, you do. And just like when you're in labor, you don't think you can take another contraction. You don't think you have it in you, but you do. And your body does what it needs to do. And your body and mind are going to always do what it needs to do to keep you alive and healthy. And we are meant to go through incredibly painful experiences as well as incredibly joyful experiences in our human experience to bring us to our full potential. You know, it's pretty amazing when you're not really sure why you're going through something you're going through, but someday you will know. So guys, if you are going through pain and sadness and fear, I want you to know how normal it is, that we all go through it. I like to think of life, I picture like an ocean with waves, and life is always like this, guys, always. One day you're feeling so awesome and like on top of the world, and you're like, finally, I feel so confident. I love the way my hair looks today. All my friends love me. I'm in like the best place. And then the next day it seems like you woke up and the opposite is true, doesn't it? Life is about change, and life is about the waves. Life ebbs and flows, my friends. So the key though to life is knowing when you have an ebb, a really low moment, you have to have the faith in the belief and the reality that it will get better. You're going to go right back up again. You got to start enjoying the ride. And when you're in the peak, in the midst of that pain, of that trauma, of that fear, of those suicidal thoughts, of the idea that you just cannot go on, you need to help each other, ladies and boys and men. We need to help each other through these things. We need each other. If you're tempted to be mean to somebody because somebody's encouraging you or wanting you to be mean to somebody else, you be strong. And even if it means you're alone and you're rejected from these people, do the right thing. Do not get pulled into bullying. Some of the best people, the most inspirational, the most biggest people that don't deserve it because they're so loving and kind are the ones that are bullied. The kind, loving peacemakers of this world are the ones treated the worst. Isn't that amazing? It's true. The people that are here changing the world, making a difference, are the ones holding up that light of truth for everybody to see, and they are the ones bullied the most, treated the worst, and are the most alone and are the most fearful. But you all listening are those people. I want you to know that the people that are women now, that have kids and even grandkids, went through everything you did. Your parents went through everything you did. You are never, ever alone. And when you watch these Soul Sister videos, I want you to connect with other people, you know, no matter what their age. Write to me, write to Amy. Find love within your heart. And I'm really, really sorry. I want to dedicate this Soul Sister video to our dear friends who lost their dad this week. I don't know why you're going through what you need to go through in life through all this. Sweethearts, you two beautiful girls who I love very much. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this incredible loss along with your siblings and your mom. But we all love you and we're all with you. And for any of you that have felt any kind of loss through death of a loved one, suicidal thoughts, and having things change so much that you don't think they'll ever get better, I want you to be strong, because you can get through it and you will get through it. We all do. I'm so glad I didn't follow through with what I wanted to do a few years ago when everybody threw me away and rejected me. Things are very different now. I have an incredible life, but I want you guys to know no matter how bad it gets, I promise you with everything I've got that it will get better, and you'll be so glad you didn't make a huge mistake and end your time with people who are here for you with open arms. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning in to this unique Soul Sister Saturday video, Soul Sisterhood, here in a local graveyard. Tiff's dance class is right over here, actually. So Tiff is at dance class. Orion's hanging out with me out here in the...
If you heard footsteps like this, that was me, that was not.
Yeah, Orion's my buddy. He's hanging out with me. You know, my kids know how much the series means to me, and they encourage me to continue with it, even if it means them waiting somewhere so I can finish a video for you guys, because I want to be here for you. And if you feel like you don't have anyone else on earth, I want you to know you have me, and I will be there for you. Write to me, connect. Let's rise up and start this whole Soul Sisterhood with more and more people every single week coming together to support each other, and encourage each other and give each other unconditional love, because we are no different. We are soul sisters. We are part of the same human race. Things might keep you apart from other people, but it's just limiting beliefs. You got to open your heart and know that any kind of energy you put out to this world will come back to you, no matter what it is. If you put good out there, my goodness, I promise you guys, so much good will come back to you. If you put fear and meanness out there, it'll come back to you times 2. You do not ever need to be mean to somebody to get somebody else to like you. It's actually scientifically impossible. So if you think meanness or ganging up on somebody or being a bully to somebody means that you will be loved and supported or protected, you are dead wrong, because I'll tell you, you are at more danger. You be yourself. And if anyone's trying to hurt you or bully you, you reach out to some adults in your life or some people that can help you, and you be honest. You walk right in that counselor's office and said, I need to talk to you now, and I'm not leaving until you help me, and I will not go back to school in a place where I am fearful and where I'm in danger. I am physically and emotionally in danger of suicidal thoughts. I'm in danger of my emotional and physical well-being, and I will not step foot. I have human rights, and I will not step foot back into this school unless you keep me safe. It's your job. And so you stand up for yourself, guys. I'll got your back. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Soul Sisterhood. We love you guys so much.